How's it, guys? It's Stephen here. Long time no see. The club hasn't been able to meet for quite a few months now during this lockdown period. And yeah, seeing that I've been working at home for the last 4 months, I've grown a beard. I haven't bothered to shave. Yeah, what can I say? Maybe it's just laziness. Anyway, I just thought maybe I'd do a video for you guys, keep you guys busy. For those of you who don't do much turning at home, making up all sorts of excuses why you shouldn't be doing any turning. But I've thought I'd talk about a finish that I like using, which I think is underrated. I think very few people actually use it, and I think it's sort of fallen a bit by the wayside. And that's actually shellac. A lot of guys think might not be able to use it on a turning project because it's actually quite successful on turning projects. It gives you quite a good shine and quite quickly as well. But you can also use it as a undercoat, and a lot of finishes will go on top of it. And it's also quite a good sanding sealer because it dries quite quickly. So you don't just have to use it on furniture sort of products and things like that. It works very well on turnings, and I'll show you a couple of examples of that. And then also maybe talk about how we mix the shellac as well. And yeah, so just as mentioned, this is a pepper mill that I did using the shellac finish. So don't know how well you can see the finish on that, but it was just shellac. Took only about 10 minutes, and that's the kind of finish you can get. So I think it's quite a worthwhile finish to have a look into. I think it's quite quick and quite useful. Yeah, so as I said, basically you need your shellac flakes. You get them in various types. This is blonde shellac, so it's got no color in it, but you can buy the shellac flakes that have got different color and that in it. All you need to do is chuck some of it into a container and mix it with some methylated spirits. So I've already mixed some. Depending on how thick you want it, depends on how much alcohol and how much shellac flakes you want. But what I normally do is I throw in enough shellac flakes that I think I'm going to use, and then I pour the methylated spirits over it just to cover it about maybe 3 mils above it, and then just keep mixing it. It takes quite a few hours for it to eventually dissolve into a liquid like this. But obviously, if you want to make it thinner, you can make it thinner. And then you just need to keep yourself a bottle with or a container with your rag in it, and obviously you need to keep a bit of meths in that and keep it sealed so it doesn't harden with the shellac. So I think what I'll do is so I've turned my piece of this is just a piece of scrap wood, but just to give you an idea of how to get it quite a nice shine on it, and I've sanded it and everything, as you've seen. So basically what I like to do is I just put a bit of the shellac onto the piece of cloth, just a tiny bit like that. The cloth is already quite damp with methylated spirits. Okay, so the trick here is actually to slow your lathe as slow as sort of possible, and just drag the cloth that's got a bit of the shellac on it over your surface. Be careful. This cloth. Try and use a lint-free cloth. There was a bit of thread that came off there. But the trick here is to not actually stay still in one place. So just keep it moving. Keep it moving, because otherwise this stuff gets quite sticky quite quickly. The solvent flashes off quite fast. Okay, so as I said, the trick here is to keep your cloth moving. Don't keep it still in one place. And so even in these little grooves, you just quickly push it in there and move. Push it in and move, and keep the cloth moving. If you have a more even surface, you could probably use a bit more of a bigger cloth. So basically keep on just putting it, applying it on like it. Don't stay in the same place for too long. Just keep moving. Almost like you're touching down and going off, touching down, going off, touching down, going off. And the more you end up getting on here, the greater the potential is for it to start getting sticky. But if it starts getting a bit too sticky, put a bit more meths on it. So you just put a bit more meths on it, on the cloth, just to give it a bit more solvent, so that it doesn't get too sticky. And just keep moving. I don't know if you can see the shine building up here yet, but I'll bring the camera closer just now. And if you really find that you're having a problem, it's catching and getting stuck, it's normally because you've either got too much shellac on your cloth or not enough solvent. When it comes to applying shellac, less is more. So rather do a lot of strokes going across like this than trying to get too much shellac on, because you try and put too much on, you're going to get streaks, and then you'll have to sand it all off and start all over again. So the trick is to keep applying very, very thin layers. I mean, you may even find that all you're doing really is just putting a little bit of solvent on, or methylated spirits on, every now and then, just to keep it from getting sticky. And if you feel that you can't stop it from getting sticky, and you don't have any streaks, then leave it for a while. Let all the solvent flash off, and put more coats on. And as you put more and more coats on, the more shine you sort of build up on it. So then you can see that's only a few passes with the shellac, and you got quite a good shine on there. Okay, and then as I say, every now and then, I think in this case I got a little bit too much solvent on you, so the finish is starting to go away a bit. So just put a little bit more shellac on and just keep applying some very thin coats. And never twist this around your fingers like that, because if this catches, your fingers are going to go with it. So rather have it just holding it and just quick passes. And don't use latex gloves, rather use your bare hands. Latex will stick to this. If you're trying to protect your hands from getting sticky from the shellac in it, don't use latex gloves, because they will get stuck to this and they'll grab and get pulled off. And you're asking yourself, how does he know this? Well, I've actually ripped off a pair of latex gloves on the lathe by doing this. And as I said, this is also a good finish to actually apply another finish. If you want to apply a different finish on it, it's a good finish to seal off your wood, as a sanding sealer even. So and the nice thing I like about this finish is it's quite quick, whereas with stuff like your Danish oils and things like that, you've got to keep on applying day in, day out, depending on how you want your finish to look. This is basically quite shiny already with just a few coats, as you can see here. You can see it's got quite a bit of a shine on it, and it's almost completely dry in such a short space of time. So yeah, and you can use the same sort of techniques if you use it on bowls. Same sort of technique. Just keep the bowl. You can make a bit of a bigger cloth pad, and you can do the same thing. As I said, just give it a shot. It's a really good finish, I find, especially if you want to do a project quite quickly and you want to get a nice shine on it. I think it's a really good finish and really underrated, and I don't think a lot of people use it nowadays. Try the finish. Try using shellac on your projects and see if you like it. It's as I said, it's a really good sanding sealer as well, and to apply other finishes on top of it. Give you something to do during your lockdown. Another thing to try out. Hope to see you guys at the club again soon, one of these days, when this nonsense is over. Everybody be well, and see you next time. Cheers.